The second speaker listed all sort of examples that has nothing to do with today's motion that they themselves propose. So, honorable educators, please take note. Right. Now, okay, he mentioned that parents as role models. This was his case line. Now, he said that children take after their parents' attitude. And he also mentioned that role models are humans. Parents are humans who serve as role models. Then he said that parents should display good attitude and somehow portray a perfect 10 attitude. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, please take note. Parents, even how immoral they could be, they will always try their best to actually instill good values in their children. Don't tell me just because he comes out from a prison, he would want his children to go to prison as well. They will always try their best. Because why? Because they are parents. Because they have responsibility, as what the government is saying. Right, next. The first speaker of the government. Okay, I will be basically following the definition that my first speaker of the opposition has said, which is school going. We will define it as an age group, not as problems that happens in school. Please, my government, do not narrow the scope of today's debate. Okay, now, again, they mentioned about parents are not fully aware of their children's discipline. They are not fully participating in enforcing their children's discipline problem. Again, let me rephrase that. Parents will always try their best to instill good values. So how can the government actually say that these things will happen? Because parents will always try their best. That's why, again, I'm saying this. They are parents. They would have the sense of responsibility in them. Don't have kids if you cannot handle your own kids. Okay, so next. He said about to avoid their parents taking responsibilities, tendencies of parents to overlook their the disciplines, a lack of parental involvement, and so on. Okay, now, we don't really understand what the Prime Minister is trying to do, but it seems he is rather lost in his own motion. Now, with the definition not studied and arguments that are not very clear, we will only rebut what we heard and what we have to know. Now, regarding the lack of time, I believe he mentioned something about lack of time. Now, is it the parents' fault that they cannot oversee every single thing that their children are doing for 24/7? No! Because why? Parents are humans too. They go to work. Who they go to work for? Their children. Now, they go out and buy food. They go out shopping. For who? For the children. So for them to actually expect parents to be there 24/7 to actually control every single doings of their child is ridiculous. Now, having debunked the arguments, permit me to proceed with my two arguments for the opposition. Now, my first argument is how parents should not be held responsible because of children themselves cause these discipline problems without any compulsion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, members of the House, before I proceed, let me just remind you that we are talking about school-going children now, age 7 to 17, who have been exposed to new environments, so many different new environments, and so many types of influences. Now, when I say influences, some are good and others not so. Okay, I put to you that these children do have control over what they do and over when they do it. The logic behind this premise is quite simple. I have the facts right here. Now, according to an article in www.statesmanjournal.com, a child's formative years happen from the moment they are born until the age of 5. Now, 90% of the child's brain develops in that time, and 85% of the child's intellect, personality, and social skills are also developed in these years. So, this begs the questions of cause and effect. The motion proposed by the government today reads school-going children. Now, if a discipline problem stems from the misbehaviors of a school-going child, is it entirely fair to actually say that his or her parents should be held responsible for whatever sort of mistakes that these kids are doing? Now, what about the ability to act? What about the ability to free will? Now, is it even logical to say that parents must be held accountable for whatever their kids do? Now that we know, these kids actually commit those acts without any compulsion. Now, I believe children should bear the burden of responsibility when they themselves cause these problems, and we, as responsible adults, should and must acknowledge this. Now, next, my second and the opposition's third argument is how the bombardment of social and streaming media coerces children to misbehave. Now, let's be very frank here, members of the House. School-going children use many gadgets and gizmos on a daily basis. Now, even kids, as young as 7 years old, have been exposed to so many different types of media, most notably the internet. Now, our contention is that children are negatively influenced by whatever they see, or whatever they hear, or whatever they can obtain online. Okay, for example, when children are hooked on a new media, for example, social sites like Facebook or Twitter, or streaming sites like YouTube or Flickr, two likely scenarios will happen. Now, first, they won't be interested in pretty much anything else besides eating and sleeping. Now, this will actually lead to time wastage, and whatever household chores and homework they may have will remain unfinished. Now, that in itself is a discipline problem for he or she has shown disobedience. Now next, second, they will be heavily influenced by the virtual world they live in, so much so it eventually spills over into reality. Now, they will often sport pseudo-personalities or avatars and use inappropriate language that is deemed acceptable or even fashionable when online. Besides, many sites displays malicious content which are illegal and immoral, but no thanks to technology, they are available on streaming and social sites. Yes, CMUI.
Right. You said that parents cannot control what their children see on social media and the internet, but parents can. With today's technology, parents are able to control what their children
Right,
are
thank you about CMUI. Okay, I think CMUI to come from the government side, but why not I tell you this? Yes, they can try their best to actually put security features, to put antiviruses and whatnot, and any social site, any computers, but first, can these parents actually control whatever their children are doing outside of their house? Are you telling me they're going to actually watch every single thing they do when they're at cyber cafes? No, next. Can parents actually override all those security features? Now these days, we have so many pop-up ads that cannot be blocked. For example, pardon my expression, pornography, gambling, get rich, all those pop-up ads. Can we block them? Maybe, but some, these days, we cannot block them because why? Technology, like you said, is getting more and more advanced. Even we, as parents, we can no longer actually stop all this technology from getting advanced because, come on, it's the 21st century, right? Alright, so now, as a result of the above, parents and guardians and teachers reprimand these children according to the letter of law and what is right. Now, some children may be able to take the punishment in a good way, but those who cannot will eventually feel hard done, and this may trigger feelings of unhappiness and dejection, which begets anger and, of course, rebellious tendencies. Now, how can you blame the parents and guardians then for all the reasons that I mentioned just now, mind your government? Question to ponder, isn't it? Right. Before I rest my case, let me reaffirm our stand. Parents and guardians should not be held responsible simply because there are other elements out there beyond their reach. I believe we have proven our case today that today's motion must not be passed in Parliament. I'll see you later for summation. Thank you.